Next to that bush in front of the right end.
What is your tank going around in circles now?
Kind of drops the Hills voice close on.
Remind the tank with. Well, that's not bad. You haven't got an MVG to divide it up with something.
Exercise Executive Stretch is run by Defence Reserve Support. It aims to show employers the types of skills that can be gained through the reserves and transferred to civilian roles.
I'd like to be able to see that the business people look at the Defence Force positively, that they look at the business that we are doing, and the understanding that their reservists that they employ are quite fit, capable, team-oriented, motivated individuals that can be engaged in their workplace and possibly even be junior leaders inside the workplace itself. Okay, good evening and welcome to Saddle and the other attachments to the Exercise Executive Stretch 2017.
So it should be good fun, bit of a challenge for the leadership, so we'll see how that works out.
It's Thursday afternoon and the participants have arrived at RAF Base Edinburgh, just to the north of Adelaide.
It'll be interesting to see how this compares with our last field trip and probably a little bit more about how we respond under pressure.
After a briefing from Major Rick Clark, they are divided into 3 teams, representing each of Australia's armed forces. And each gets an experienced team leader. Team Navy is led by Lieutenant Laura Ball.
I think it'll be a great opportunity for our employees to see what we do as reservists here at EEF.
Army is led by Corporal Craig Tanti.
I think they'll change a fair bit. They'll understand actually how hard and arduous it can be as a reservist. It's not just run around and have a bit of fun. There's a lot of work, there's a lot that gets involved.
And Air Force is led by Flight Sergeant Mark Stacey.
So take them through some physical activities, test them to see what they can do and what their workforce can look forward to in the forces.
As you'd expect, they each have a clear view of whose team will perform best.
Army's going to win for sure.
Oh, Air Force, for sure.
Navy!
The usual paperwork and housekeeping is completed, and then it's time to get kitted up in proper military DPCUs. That's disruptive pattern camouflage uniform. This is done at the lines, which is military speak for the accommodation blocks.
Never done the DPCU before?
No, first time in the DPCU.
Excellent. Looking forward to getting it damaged and getting a bit sore?
Absolutely. Looking forward to getting activities, getting muddy, getting wet.
Are you apprehensive about anything?
Yeah, well, everything.
After dinner at the Airmen's Mess, the team split up and head off to do 3 activities. They will rotate between 3 locations. One team is at the WETS. WETS stands for Weapons Training Simulation System and is a lifelike simulation for weapons firing. The EES teams get to shoot with the F-88 style in a simulated environment.
But they've been converted to fire a laser at the screen and operate off compressed air.
The system can take a variety of weapon types.
The GLA or the style fitted with the grenade launcher attachment. They can come in and train with that.
Everyone's happy? Cool, man. So we'll crack out the first one with group in 0.
Each participant has an experienced Army Reserve or full-time soldier to coach and supervise them.
Firm grip with your hand, looking through the sight. Remember your breathing. Breathe in, breathe out, half a breath, and squeeze the trigger. Cool.
This is how most soldiers, sailors and airmen and women are tested and keep up their shooting qualifications. The targets are hit by a laser beam and the computer keeps a track of how they are doing. Then they form teams and compete for who can shoot targets down the fastest. They have to do a pretend run across a few hundred metres, lie down and hit the targets. It's Executive Stretch versus 7 RAR full-timers who work hard at the job.
Getting close. Oh, everyone's getting lucky. Everyone running again. Getting real close, getting real close, getting real close.
Then it's 1027 reserves against the full-timers. And the reserves once again show how well trained they can be. Once the lights are back on, the stories start.
Excellent.
I reckon I got maybe 1 down.
And what was that score?
It was a 107 round, and it was 7 out of 8.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
I just gave orders to two sections.
In a classroom at the Monash Centre, another team is learning how to do orders with Major Clark.
So I would go to a set of orders and get, three of my equivalents would do the same if I was a lieutenant, and I'd be the company commander giving that, and the company commanders go up to battalion, and they would get their orders as well.
Later, they will be doing a night exercise, so Major Clark takes them through the process by which Army prepares orders for each mission. Over in the lecture room, there's an introduction to NVGs, or night vision goggles.
It actually emits an infrared light out in front, and it just uses that as kind of like a night vision torch. You'll get to see that shortly.
Later in the evening, these will be used in the night exercise. NVGs are always of interest, as few people will ever get to try them out. At 2200 hours, or 10 p.m. in the civilian world, the teams move out on Exercise Night Stalker.
2 sections, starting from one from the east, one from the west. They're going to move by foot, stealthily.
A dim lamp is placed in a field at the back end of the RAF base, where there is a training ground with disused buildings to provide plenty of cover. 2 teams head out into the dark, while the other sets up a defensive perimeter.
I like someone, if you haven't got an MVG, to be buddied up with someone who has.
The attacking forces must get as near to the target as possible without being seen. No easy task against MVG-equipped defenders.
Gary, there's someone next to that bush. Is that one of us? One of ours?
North in the trees.
Yep, you left your arm. I can see you.
The exercise is repeated 3 times to give each team a go at defending the lamp, which is moved each time.
Everybody stand up, stand still. Stand up.
At 23:30 or 11:30, the teams mount up, which is military parlance for getting in the vehicles, and return to the lines for a good night's sleep. The participants have been up since dark 100, or just before dawn.
Wakey, wakey! Wakey, wakey!
Wakey.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
It's day 2 and the first full day of EES 2017.
Morning, Michael. Did you sleep all right?
Right! 10! Oh, and I said that you knew, and you were the guy that got it wrong.
Nothing like morning drill to start the day.
10! 10! Oh, too slow, mate.
Major Clark does his best to instruct these newbies, and Corporal Tandy looks on,
To do with locking your
somewhat
legs, so we
bemused.
stand like so.
And the 3 teams head to the gym to try their hands at a PFA.
Follow the road around to the right.
What we're going to go on with this morning is the pre-enlistment fitness assessment, okay, which all members going to Kabuka must pass prior to going.
Civilians wishing to join Defence must pass this basic assessment in order to start their training.
With a jump, left, turn, wait for the turn, with a jump, right, turn, wait for the jump.
The assessment tests muscular endurance and cardiovascular strength, 3 push-ups, sit-ups and a 20-metre shuttle run. The minimum Army standard for push-ups is 15 for males and 8 for females.
Push-up test, begin.
Both sexes have to achieve a minimum of 45 sit-ups and 7.5 on the shuttle run.
Okay, good push-ups, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5.
20.
14. 15. 16. 17. Level 1, 2.
One of the great things about exercise like EES is the way people will give their best, even if it's sometimes harder than they expected.
Yeah, I feel okay, yeah. I think I did about as much as I could, particularly in the running area. I was able to keep up in the other areas, but running's not my forte.
Level 2, 7.
A hot breakfast in the mess refuels the teams, and there is much to do. Once again they separate and head out to do 3 activities over the next 3 hours.
Good effort, good stuff.
One team is at the outdoor obstacle course.
Good work, try to land in those hills. Good effort. When we go to the end, 1 foot takeoff, 2 foot landing.
This course is always a highlight for executive stretch.
Gary's all over it.
Go Team Army.
Once again, it's all about teamwork. The obstacles are overseen by a dedicated safety officer.
If we're uncomfortable with that yet again, failing that, we can go straight through. Just watch your head.
The idea is to have fun, not damage anything or anybody. New to EES in 2017 is a ride in a PMV, a protected mobility vehicle.
The activity is take a few civilians for a drive in the PMVs, show them what the capabilities are and explain to them what life is like as a reservist.
These PMVs were designed to survive improvised explosive devices in Iraq and Afghanistan, where they performed admirably, saving countless lives along the way.
A lot of soldiers got saved by this platform.
The V-shaped underbody deflects the blast away from the cabin, and although the PMV may be wrecked, the crew can survive. A chance to look around the PMVs and chat to the crew, who are from Adelaide's 3rd 9th South Australian Mounted Rifles, and then they mount up for a drive around the base and then the purpose-designed training track.
We can get the top speed of this vehicle up to 100 k's an hour, probably go a bit quicker. The capabilities are pretty awesome. We can take it on a lot of rough terrain. It is definitely a truckload of fun to drive.
Excellent. Rides very well. I'm actually a little bit jealous. It's riding better than my Hilux.
We're going to be looking for 9 separate objects. Now,
Down the road, an observation activity is going on. It looks mundane, but it is important in the bigger picture. Being able to remember objects and where they are could save a soldier's life in the field.
in these contexts, we want the participants to look out for anything abnormal from the environment. They're beneficial to us in combat roles for looking out for dangers.
Noticing a change in the scene visited daily can prevent many deaths, especially detecting IEDs. Another hearty meal in the mess, and on to more activities. The teams are shown the survival suits as used by the RAF's Orion crews. These are designed for survival in the coldest of waters.
And get your head through that neck seal.
They struggle into the suits.
How's the outfit?
Steamy.
And one by one, they drop into the water. And it's time to work out how to get around.
It was good. It was good, a bit heavy. It was good.
So you guys are pretty much wearing what the aircrew currently use in service. So you've got the in-service Secuma and you've got the in-service quick non-immersion suit as well.
Next up is a lesson in using more conventional life jackets.
Push down on it and put about 3 or 4 breaths in and that'll be enough to hold you.
Teams then have to survive the freezing waters of the Edinburgh pool to get injured crew into a life raft.
You're heating up the water and you're preserving your energy, so you're just staying together instead of swimming by yourself trying to wade water and losing each other in the current.
On the inside there will be a survival valise, right, and that'll have all your food, your water, and an osmosis pump to turn seawater or brackish water into fresh water that you can keep pumping. It does about 30 or so litres for the day if you keep pumping it.
By now, the teams have had a demanding and exhausting day.
Ready to go? Let's have the first 4 and we'll go. Thanks.
But this day is not over yet. Next, they move on to the Orion Flight Simulator. Mounted on huge moving legs, it can simulate all sorts of flying conditions and Air Force missions. Air Force crews qualify on it, and it has saved thousands of real-time flying hours with the associated wear and tear on real aircraft.
Just keep the wheel in the middle and not use too much left and right. Just pull back a bit more, bit more, bit more, bit more. Okay, more right foot than that. Right. Tons of it. Push it hard. Yeah.
The simulator runs 18 hours a day, 6 days a week. The team mission is to land the aircraft. It's harder than it looks.
Don't dive. Okay, and pull them up and then all the way back. Good, that's not bad. Steer with your feet. Right hand on the power.
I think we dived 3 times in there, 3 or 4 times. So that was definitely good fun.
Meanwhile, another group is looking through the OMS, which stands for Orion Mission Simulator. This is the back end of the aircraft where all the mission moves are made. It's driven by some interesting computer power.
Not i7, not i5, not i3, not Pentium 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 or a 486 or a 386, 2 86s. So I'm trying to take you back that far in history.
Obviously, classified screens are off, but there's enough to give the team a sense of what flying a mission on this venerable aircraft is like.
It kind of drops a Hills hoist clothesline, hits the water, all the arms fold out. I know I'm talking about Barra and Van, but I'm doing it in general. It's got a bunch of hydrophones on there. The hydrophones listen to the sound.
The evening is for relaxing and swapping war stories at the VPI Centre. This is a club run for lovers of all things maritime aviation. Then Major Clark delivers a presentation on leadership using his many years of military experience and deployments. Then it's back to the lines to sleep. This activity-crammed exercise is not over. They're up bright and early again for a lazy stroll around the oval. Well, not that lazy. This is based on exercises required for many troops in the army, especially infantry, where fitness is a must.
1, 2, 3,
It was good. It was a great way to start the day, I guess. Nice and early, got to watch the sunrise on a nice clear day, so it was challenging, but Navy did win, so it was a good day to start with, so happy days.
After yet another hearty meal, the 3 teams are reorganised into 2 and they're about to go to war.
And we find, particularly with the younger soldiers, they can come in and they'll treat it as a game. This is a simulation.
Okay, screen in front of you, top left here in orange, it will say user, it will say name. To the right where it says name is a white box. Left click in that white box. Do not delete the 3-digit number in there.
First up, the teams get some training.
And blue 4 can penetrate red's position and actually man the vehicles and drive off in them.
You've already depleted your ammunition. You won't be able to fire any more rounds.
I've got no idea what I'm going. Where am I?
Then they role-play a scenario where they have to free a hostage the other team has taken and get them safely back to base.
Sorry, MacGyver.
Oh, stop. Slow down a bit.
They have to organise and command themselves, and large screens on the wall show the progression of the mission. This can get chaotic.
Who's firing at us?
Is your tank going round in circles now? All right, good. Just shot a fella with the cannon.
With a large amount of blue-on-blue action.
I shot the tow missile on my Humvee and he was behind my Humvee and it blew him out.
So that's what we call a classic own goal, isn't it, really?
I didn't even know it was behind there.
After a brief rest and some sound advice, they start again with much better results.
Is that a friendly?
Shoot us a tank! Shoot him!
Oh. How does it feel to be dead? It hurts.
Yep. Target destroyed.
This is a great example of how technology like this can greatly improve performance in the real world.
Killing it. Teamwork sometimes is a little bit left lacking, a lot of friendly fire, but otherwise a really enjoyable experience. Good to get some incredible insights about the benefits of teamwork and when it's not successful. Really great.
The simulation suite can network up to 300 soldiers in 7 locations across the country and is used to rehearse actual missions in places like Afghanistan and Iraq. Following this, the battle-weary teams gather their gear and head off for the farewell lunch and handing out of certificates. Over just 3 days, the team members demonstrated leadership, confidence, initiative and patience. They made quick decisions, communicated well and learned how to operate in a team environment. Exactly what reservists do year in and year out. So, what did they think of their experience?
I really love the wets. It's awesome and they should really make it commercialised.
I'm not sure. I reckon the obstacle course was actually really good. That was quite a good challenge. So try something different.
Definitely the cordial. The cordial in the mess, they had that mixture spot on.
Takeaway from the last couple of days has been the importance of structure, teamwork, and pretty much just making sure that communication works at all levels. It's been a really incredible experience to understand, particularly the insights around Army Reserve. You have a particular perception coming into this sort of event, but to understand the depth, complexity and skill that exists within an organisation like the Reserves is really inspiring, and it's been brilliant to be a part of it.
And did the teams have a good time? Yeah! For more information about Exercise Executive Stretch, contact your local DRS office on 1800 803 485 or visit www.defencereservesupport.gov.au.